about humanity. Putting truth in these lines while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is gonna send you a big. Lock the door.
Professor Melly Mayo, Hood Postman. Who am I in with today?
Oh man, you know, you in here with Big Zoe, original Freeway boy, and my government name, my entertainment name is Lorenzo Elvis Murphy.
So, wait a minute. You used to be part of the Freeway crew?
No, I still am.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What was that experience like, being part of the Freeway?
There was an era like, let's talk about like Wall Street. Let's talk about stuff, T.G. Airmen. Let's talk about the Crips, the Slossons, the Crips. When they used to call us Young Bloods. Let's talk about the crack era, the pimp era. All those eras are subjects to people going through things as like being used for different things just to see if we can beat tests. Everything was a test. And it was like being a part of a whole family. You know, there's protocol. And I was young. I was 18 years old.
How old was Rick at that time?
Rick was 23. So I was one of the young, I was fourth in line, third in place. You know what I mean? I was like the right-hand man next to Rick Ross. You know what I mean? I was a payroll man.
In terms of money, would you say that was like some of the biggest money you ever seen in your life?
Man, I'm telling you, you hear me? I said I was a payroll man. So no lie. When they talk about we was making $3 million a day, I had the money in my safe, in my bedroom. The safe combination was 7565. That was my birthday. I was a payroll man. Every week I paid a whole organization that worked at every spot. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was a human resource. I was trusted like that. You get what I'm saying? At that young age, because one thing really what made me powerful in that game at that time, I was young. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. And guys that was older than me can go to the club. So they'd make money that day and go splurge. So what made me different was I worked. I grind. I went into all that. So for 3 strong years, you know, I couldn't drink. I couldn't, you know what I mean? I was on lockdown. So I got hooked up in a whole lot of different ways through my moms. You know what I'm saying? My mom's was dying. I needed $30,000. I don't want to become a drug dealer. I just wanted to make $30,000 to save my mother's life. It just so happened I was walking down the street, which I wasn't even allowed to deal with them guys on the other side of the freeway for a long time. But when I turned 18, I came back after being an All-American football player in Woodland Hills at Taft in 1983. You know what I'm saying? And Rick asked me, did I want to work for him? It was one of the most biggest blessings I ever been asked by somebody. And I asked him, I need $30,000. And he gave me $40,000. This in this book he wrote, his first book he wrote, my story, that he gave me $40,000 to save my mother's life. That's one thing I can say about that brother. He way deeper than everybody think. You get what I'm saying? So
how much money did he give you weekly?
I didn't have to count money. I didn't get paid weekly. I was a payroll man. I told you I was third in line. I was like running it. I was the safe was in my bedroom, bruh. You understand? Every Friday.
You had access.
No, access had me. You understand? Seriously. On some, you talk about people have money. No. brother, I slept under $3 million a day for about from 18 all the way to 23 years old. That's how long I lasted in the game. But I was a payroll.
Let me ask you this: was the Freeway Boys Hoover Crips? Some of them.
Some of them.
Were you?
Yeah. I was banging in 1977. You know what I mean? 75.
What is that?
It wasn't even gang banging when I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just Crips. You know what I'm saying? We respected older guys. Just when I was 12 years old, bro. You know, you got to think about the 75 bicentennial year, 1976, Casey and the Sunshine Band. So we used to listen to a lot of white music, the Bee Gees and all this old shit. You get what I'm saying? But I used to do these things when I was 12. My mother found out I was gang banging because it was about just robbing people back in the day. Whoever had the best knockout. You know, it wasn't about no shooting. You better even heard anybody. We didn't have to shoot because we weren't after each other back then. We wasn't. We was after the other people.
Were you 8 Trey Hoover?
No, I was 9'4".
9'4".
That was way before it was 9'4" Hoover though. We was like on some Broadway stuff.
That's what Hawk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was with Sherlock, Fish, the real OGs, Little Nail.
Hawk passed away too.
Yeah.
What about Batman?
Batman's still alive, I think. You know, but I don't like even speaking on it. But that's something I was a kid. But I grew up in the neighborhood. See, one thing, my mother was Santa Claus at Manchester Elementary for 5-6 years. She was Miss Santa Claus. So I was not allowed to even, as my mother found out, back in the day when I gang bang, this is how we gang bang. I would change my clothes, homie. Put on some of my gang banging clothes. Put my other clothes on that I walked out the house, put up under my house, go out to the street, hang out with my folks on this side of Broadway. This was 75, 76. Because after my mother found out I was out there doing what I was doing, I was changing my clothes. So when I come back from hanging out with the boys, we was 12, 13. I never got affiliated like when I was just when it was wild. Because I became you know what I'm saying? I was an athlete. You know, I was supposed to be going to the NFL. So I did all that at young age. You get what I'm saying? But no matter what, I grew up in that neighborhood. No matter it was, I could have picked two sides. I was on Broadway. I could have picked the A7 gangster side. Because I went over there too to play as a kid. You hear what I'm saying? I lived on Broadway. So Broadway is right next to Maine. Then right next to Figueroa, I'm in the middle. It just so happened, the brothers on this side of the freeway, we had a nice little crew of brothers that grew up together. It wasn't about gang banging. It was about brothers. We had a crew of brothers that had 5 brothers. You get what I'm saying? So everybody going up to the 5 brothers' house. They big, black, tall, 6'8", 7'2", 300 pounds, going just in elementary.
The one haymakers.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like how you friends. So when I was in that era of hanging out, I was told not to hang out no more, brother. You know, from 12 all the way to 18, homie. Nobody there. I couldn't go by and hang out around no Manchester Park trying to do stuff because everybody knew this dude going to the NFL, bro. You get what I'm saying? That was one of them all-American football players coming out of Taft, you know, led the city with quarterback sacks. Had like 35 quarterback sacks in one season for Taft. Played against Dorsey in the playoffs. But my mother got sick, you know what I'm saying? I was in college. I was training to be a fireman. But my mom's got sick and I needed $30,000 in 2 weeks.
That's when Rick came to the rescue.
When Rick came to the rescue. But just so happened, my mother was Rick's mother's mentor in college at the time, too. You get what I'm saying? So they was best friends anyway, but I was not allowed to hang out with them cats until I got 18. So when I did what I did, I showed how I was smart. You know what I'm saying? I know about numbers, brother. So Rick trusted me. He can trust me. My mother, this is his mother.
Yeah, because they were saying that Rick didn't read and write back then.
Now that I look at it, I think I was the one sitting there reading for him. Now that I was his right-hand man.
Yeah, he learned to read and write. Wow.
But we wasn't about reading anything. We didn't get no letters. We didn't get no motherfucking bills. We didn't see paperwork.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't see paper. What such thing as paperwork? It was about numbers, brother, dollars. I mean, we used to weigh $20 bills on scales, and you only know you don't have to even count it. Just put it on the scale. The scale will tell you how much the money was.
choices and consequences. Can you describe a pivotal moment when a choice you made changed your life and the trajectory that your life was going in regards to everything you just said?
Say the question again.
Can you describe a pivotal moment when a choice you made changed your life and the trajectory that you were on?
When I volunteered to go back to prison.
You volunteered.
I volunteered to go back to prison.
What does that mean?
I couldn't take being on federal parole. It was just too, for who I am, the way my spirit was. I was really going through a spiritual warfare with going through, I was another name. See, we don't think about us. When we got busted up under other names, identities. You're allowed an identity in America, one. But as long as you don't commit no crime with that, you know what I'm saying, you can do something with. So we had this, so we got busted up under different identities. So I got busted up under Dale Early, but they convicted me up under Dale Early. So when I got out from doing my little 8 years, they gave me this 10-year tail. But it was a cold tail they gave me, and I couldn't take it. But I was doing it up under Dale Early. I wasn't Lorenzo Murphy. So I wouldn't been able to be me. Everything I did, I was called Lorenzo Murphy. No, Dale Early. Get what I'm saying? And really, I couldn't fuck with it. So I just like volunteered to go back to prison. Because if I wouldn't, I would have probably went back. You know, I got caught up with some.
What year was that?
Like 98.
And how long did you have to do it?
I did 6 months, knocked off 10 years of parole. You know what I'm saying? It was worth it because I got my name back. You know what I mean? I can become who I am today while I'm sitting here talking to you. Well, I can tell you my success now. You know what I'm saying? I'm 59 years old now. Like I said, shit happened with me when I was 12, 13. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't allowed to run the streets after 12, 13. You get what I'm saying? Because I was too much into sports. So from 12 to 18 years old, then when I got 18, shit, I got with the biggest man in town at the time. I started making shit $1 million. Shit, I made 100. The first time I worked with Rick, I made $100,000 in 1 week. In the 80s, in 83, 84. But you know what I'm saying? I'm saying about the past. That was like I look at these young men now talking about paper. No. That they don't even know what it's like to even touch a fucking $1 billion. You know that money we made, brother? This one thing I know. I don't glorify what we made that money for, homie. That was blood money, homeboy. That was blood money, man. That money we made off that stuff we made went to go to destroy countries, cities, families. It chopped off ladies' heads, cut babies out of women's stomachs, burnt down towns. You know what I'm saying?
Did you personally ever meet Blandone?
I seen. I was around. I was the second man in command. I was the one popping it. You know what I'm saying? I was there. We didn't have to touch that shit. I touched so much of that shit when we cooked that shit. The top of my skin and my hand peeled off, brother. You know what I'm saying? It was just so real of a game, man. And I just thank God that I made it to sit here and have this great intellect and I'm healthy as a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
it's some real shit, man. You got motherfuckers and I hate that all this entertainers making more money than we did in the game, homie. Just by television, bro. People not even recognizing that shit. These dudes on TV that made more money than us just by the stories that they telling. Yeah, we make that $1 billion for the government, 600 million, whatever. But it's like now these motherfuckers have made more money than that just by the story. They ain't even go through the shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Right now, motherfuckers suffering from that type of shit. PS, what you call that? PS, what you call that? Yeah, motherfuckers suffer from that shit. You know what I mean? Fighting to sleep, fucking talking to motherfuckers. I'm just keeping it 1,000.
When it comes to love and sacrifice, what is the biggest sacrifice you made? Talking about personally.
Personally, when I was.
Yes, you personally, not the. I didn't mean to put it like that, but personally, what was when it come to law and sacrifice? What is the
sacrifice as a youth at the time doing that? It was more being a part of something. You know what I'm saying? It was about knowing what we was going to do. You know what I'm saying? As kids, you know what I'm saying? Then as I got older, I seen how it changed. The game changed. Then got more into education. You know what I'm saying? Um, Things just happened overnight. You know, once my mother found out a lot of shit about what I was trying to become, 'cause I used to see Tookie walk up and down the street every day on 88th and Broadway between, you know, 'cause little Samson lived right down the street. So you seeing things, then, you know, just going up and around Manchester Park as a kid and growing up around seeing just who you grew. I knew, now I don't look at people as Hoovers or Freeway boys. I look at these as my brothers, homie. Period. Regardless, way before all that stuff, we was friends, brothers. That's why it's hard for me to even claim anything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I knew dudes since we was 3 years old, bro. You understand, on some real shit. So it was way before all that. That's why when people be sensitive, I be like, man, everybody I talk to and I deal with around my neighborhood, we brothers, man.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was different. The era I'm from wasn't called like that. We wasn't calling each other that. There's other people that call you that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So at what point did you take that energy and move it into your business aspect? Because I'm seeing right here what we have.
It always been business with me. That's why I've been able to survive.
Right there. I want you to show.
It always been business.
And what are those called?
These is called Los Negros. Los Negros tequila. Organic. Two brothers from South Central created this. You know what I mean?
And if people want to link up with you in person, how do they do that?
They can link up me on my Instagram, Compton Politics 07. Instagram, Compton Politics 07. Or Lorenzo Elvis Murphy on Facebook.
And you wrote a book as well.
Yeah, I wrote a book. AI from a Black Guy. AI from a Black Guy. It's about talking about
artificial intelligence. But
it's the guy. It's the guy to help you through the apps. Because look, if you don't step up your game, we're into the Stargate now, bro.
Yes.
Everything is about now. Now. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not ready, when there's somebody talking to you, it's kind of like you got to connect with Siri and Alexa. That was your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Chat GPT builds up your business for you in 30 seconds. Just talk to it. Tell it what you want. You know what I mean? But this book is the guide. It's called AI from a Black Guy. It's in Barnes & Noble on the shelf. It's knowledge. It's where we supposed to go. It's like if you have an Xbox game and you're trying to read the menu on how to get through the game, because you got to go through computers and email, get that shit downloaded. So this is the guide through the next level. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch the Jetsons with flying cars. Now there's flying cars. I'm 59. You know what I'm saying? We talk about old shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's about this now with me. And I'm trying to educate the Hoovers, the Main Streets, everybody with this. This is what it's about. It ain't about where you from. It's about where you at. If you can't go to Siri, Alexa, and they tell you who, you ask who you are and they don't tell you who you are, that means your ass is erased. You erased because Siri and Alexa is the machine now that keeps control. Google is the cousin of AI. But they erase the stuff off of AI. Remember, 29 states has eliminated black education out of schools. So they feel it's not important. Why not? Look at who made all the different things in history and the inventors. But they're trying to erase education out of schools, and we invented everything. But with AI, this is all I'm gonna say. We have to, just like we flooding Instagram, just like we flooding Facebook, TikTok. You got to flood Chat GPT. You got to flood Siri. You got to flood all these things the same way. But now you own your own stuff, because when you go inside of this Chat GPT, when you talk to Siri, when you talk to Alexa, you make sense though. So she can understand what the fuck you're talking about. Because if you don't say the right thing, she ain't going to answer your dumb ass. If you don't say the right words. It's like we so used to saying blood, sweat, and tears. The real word to let her understand is saying sweat equity.
So in terms of investment, do you feel that we should be invested more in AI?
You know, AI investors in you. You know what I mean? Like when you have to go somewhere to get a business plan made, they're going to charge you $50,000. You get Chat GPT on your phone and say, look, I want you to make me a business plan on how to deal with youths that's handicapped, but how do I get the equipment delivered? 30 seconds, boom.
You got an answer.
Yeah, you got the whole platform right there in your face.
And you didn't have to go pay, but somebody just lost their job.
That don't mean nothing. You got to get into what's watching. When you watched the NFL game last night, it said the AI. Sometimes everywhere you watching this, man, is here, but we keep ignoring it in the community, brother. We keep ignoring it. Look, I got all this technology. Look, I got this. I got probably 3 more. You know what I'm saying? But what we call this? What you call this? What you call these?
A watch pocket.
What you call it though?
It's a phone.
Look, it's not. No, it's called a pocket computer.
Well,
with a phone app.
A lot of people don't know that. The I on iPhone stand for intelligence, and the Android on the Android phone stand human-like robot. So you corrected that. So that explains that. But at the same time, it also watches everything you do and hears everything you do.
Here, it's kind of like, let's go back to the Jetsons. Let's go back to Mork and Mindy. Let's go back to even Star Trek with Dr. Spock. That was really, now it was an AI robot all this time. Period. Regardless of whatever the fuck we talking about. He was an AI robot. You feel me? And let's even go back to this. And this is the change, how deep the change is that people got to step into. We got to walk into this shit. We got to flood AI with our Black history because we know they're going to erase us off this earth. And whatever you put in AI, you own it, because you can't nobody go back and get what you asked the thing to do for yourself. That's the difference. Google, they own it. Facebook, it own it. Instagram, own your stuff. AI, you own your own stuff because you're the one that built your Android up. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator. That was an Android in 1983. Where they showed 1983, but they took them to the future to 2020, which is 2024 now. So we hear that. We there. So what is this called? This phone is an Android. This is an Android. You build an Android. I built in here what I wanted to do for me. So it's the same thing now. It might be going over your head. It's going over y'all head a little. I'm just saying. AI from a Black guy.
So where they get it again?
They can get it at Barnes & Noble. You get what I'm saying, at the stores. Anyone. You can go get it at Amazon.
And where they can get the drink?
You can go get it from me. I'm trying to find a location where you can go to the store. Go to these stores and say, look, you got Lost Negros tequila in here. If you don't, you need to get it. Because you know how they be slipping. These stores be slipping. I even got wine from Africa. I got like 6 type of wines from Africa. You know what I'm saying?
And where they find you?
They can find me at Compton Politics 07 on Instagram.
With that being said, Professor Melly Mail Zoe, lock the door.
For sure.
Cali Miners, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga. Streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top. Diamond Cartier. That nigga Wall won't give a broke.